Okay, today I want to talk to you about statistics and fatigue. Fatigue is inherently a statistical process. I'm going to show you a video here just of how important fatigue is, rather. Let's see if we can get that up. Actually, I'm just going to have you look at the video. It's of a cowling on an aircraft that crashed me due to fatigue, and it was very, very serious. But today, we're going to look at statistics. Things don't fatigue at the same time. Each part will be different, and that's each of you is running an experiment where you just do one sample, and we're going to take all the samples from all the class and look at them statistically. So keep your information of how many cycles until the fatigue fracture caused failure, and we'll use that data. So open up in Blackboard under Start to Lab 7 and get the Word file out. We'll be referring to that. We're going to be making histograms today. Get the Word file and also the data in the Excel file. So you're going to have two files up simultaneously, the Word file, fatigue and histograms, and the Excel file. So I'm going to go to the Excel file first. Let's just go in, share screen. Let's go to okay, I need to get a file up here. Screen 1. You should be sharing my screen at this point. I'm going to get Excel up. So you have files in Blackboard called simulated data. Okay, you should have an Excel file in front of you now. There's a data set 1 and a data set 2. And we're going to be going over how to create histograms with those. So go into Lab 7 and let's look at how we can make those. So let's get you into the Word document. Okay. So in your Word document, there is data set 1 and data set 2. I want you to, the data is already in the Excel column. Data set 1, that's what we're going to do. First, and let's see, let's select the data set by highlighting it, and then we're going to click the insert icon right there, and then we're going to click the histogram right there. Then once we click the histogram icon, it'll come up like this, and we're going to select this sort of histogram. So I'm just going to show you that right now. We will select the data set 1, and I'm just going to highlight all of that. There's about 200 data points there. Okay, go to Insert, and then select Histogram. I want this sort of histogram. Okay. Here we have a histogram of this, of the data. It's not a very good histogram. I want to adjust it now so that we can have different views of what this is. Now what's going on here is, let's see, there are evidently about 59 or so of these data points that's between 103 and 118. So 118 would be included in this, 103 would be not, so would not be. So if it were 103.0, it would go into this box. If it were 103.1, it would go into this box. And there's a few out here at 18 to 28. 18 to 28 and 163 to 78. So this is our data. It ranges from somewhere around 13 to somewhere around 178 or less. Not a very good histogram here. We're going to be adjusting these boxes that are in there. And I want to show you how to do that using the Word document. So in your computer, get the Word document up at the same time. And let's take a look at adjusting these bins. This is called, here's the first bin, the second bin, third bin, fourth bin, etc. So I want to adjust these bins. How do you do that? Let's go to click on the axis that we want to adjust, and that's down here, and then right click on that, and you'll get this. Let me just go over that again. Click on the axis, so it's highlighting the axis, and then right click, and you'll get this pop-up menu there. And we want to format chart area. So we get that up. Excuse me, I want to format the axis. So I'm going to go back here. I didn't see, there it is, format axis. I didn't see that before. Okay, so now we're over here, and it's asking us about the bins. Let's go in there. I want to make bin width. Let's make it, I guess they have it as 15 there. So let's make it as, let's see, what are we telling us to do? We can change it to 15, but there's an underflow and an overflow bin. One thing I don't like about this, it goes 28 to 43, and we like to think in more rounded type numbers. So I'm going to put an underflow bin, and watch what happens over here. They have something less than 26. That's what the underflow bin is right now. Let's put it as, let's see, less than 50. Okay, now notice we got all of those little teeny ones out of there, and it's just saying less than 50. Let's do the same thing here. Let's make this greater than, well, I guess that's fine. Notice that this is symmetric, close to symmetric now, because this comes from a normal distribution. We can change it again. Let's change the number of the size of the bins in there. So click on that, right click, format axis. Okay, let's change the size to 10 to see how that looks. Okay, a little bit different view now. The bin size is from 70 to 80 for this one. We don't have very many here, so maybe I want to have the overflow here as 150. So let's change that to 150. Okay, not quite as symmetrical, quite a different view of the data with a bin width of 10. Let's bring that down to a bin width of 5. Looks kind of busy here, and this bin seems to have more than the next bin. That's just fluke randomness. We can go even further, and bin width of 1. this may have some meaning to some people, but it's kind of difficult to visualize this data here, what this data looks like. It seemed to be much more comfortable with 10 or 15. I'm going to put that back in as 15. I get a better idea. There's lots of these data points from 95 to 110, and it's kind of symmetric, not perfectly symmetric, about somewhere around 100 or so. Let's see, another thing I might want to do is put in what the mean and standard deviation are. So let's calculate those. Let's go over here to data set 1. Let's go under here, and I want to calculate the mean. Mean is average. Mean is, let's see, but they don't use the word mean in Excel. They use average. Average, and then I'm going to highlight all of these points. And we can see it looks like it's going to be somewhere around 100. So I'm going to highlight those points. And we get a mean of 101.6. Let's change that. 101.6. And standard deviation. And we'll do the same thing. That's, let's see, standard. There it is, it's standard. We want to do standard deviation S, and I'm not going to get into why S instead of P, but standard deviation S is what we want to use. Let's see, standard deviation S, and I want, let's see, let's highlight these numbers. I'm not going to get into what a standard deviation is, but the larger the standard deviation, the more spread out it is. And most of a data set is usually within one standard deviation of the mean. Okay, there's standard deviation of 25.3. Okay, looking over here, the mean is at 101, and we can see that. Well, there's lots of them in there. And most of your data are going to be within 25 of that mean. So somewhere between, say, 75 and 125, most of your data. And that's what you have. Most of your data is between 75 and 125 here. Okay, that's making a histogram. So I want you to make a histogram. I also want you to make a title. Let's see, this is histogram of data number 1, mean equals 101, sigma, this is S, that's what we actually calculated was S, and let's see, that was 25 as I remember. Yeah, 25. Okay, and well, I want you to put your group names on that. Okay, data set 1, let's see. So that's making a histogram. Not very hard to do. Let's go over the steps again, looking at the Excel sheet or the Word document. Okay, we go to Insert, click on, or select your data by highlighting it. Go to Insert, and then we'll come up over here and we can make this chart. We want to make a histogram. It's right there. Let me zoom in on this. Okay, we'll click this, and then we want to click this type of histogram. Now, what you're going to get there then is a graph that will have funny, usually it's unusual bin markers there. Let's see, this one is 28 to 40 something. I can't see it very well. But I want you to change your bin sizes, and I go through in here how to change the bin sizes. We click on the x-axis down here and then come down to format axes. And I'll ask you to play with the bin width, adjust it between 10 and 15. Okay, here it is with 15 with an underflow bin of 40. Here it is with a bin width of 10 and an underflow of 56, it looks like 50. And this is with a bin width of 5. You get too small a bin widths, and you don't really have good looking material. It doesn't give you much information there, or maybe it gives you too much information. So what I'm going to want you to do for data set 2, I'm telling you what to do with data set 1, but create a histogram of data set 2 using an appropriate bin width. Now, what I mean by appropriate is that's sort of a Goldilocks question. That is, here at 5, it's too small. And if you make it the bin width too large, well, I guess I didn't give you an example of a bin width of too large, but everything is all in 1 or 2 bins. We're comparing here bin width of 15 and 10. 10 is probably, it looks okay there, but I kind of like the 15 one. That's a trade-off, and there is no set right answer. There's just bins that are too small, like this one is. And I didn't put one on here, but let's look at what happens if we have a bin width that's too large. So I'm going to go in here, click on the axis, find format axis, and let's see, let's make this bin really, really large. Let's make it 50. Okay, yeah, but it doesn't give you much information at all, or 100. Yeah, very little information there. Most of the stuff's between 50 and 150. So bin width, you want to play with that with data to figure out what gives you, what illuminates the data better, so that you can get a handle on this, of what the distribution, in this case, what the distribution of failure times are. Failure times are important for safety reasons. They're also important for warranty reasons. If you make a warranty and things wear out too often, you're going to go broke. Anyway, so what I want you to do for this, it's pretty easy. Create a histogram of data set 2, which was on that spreadsheet that's in Blackboard. Put your name on there. I should say your group names. And now I want you to create a histogram of the data set for the number of cycles of until failure. So this is, we can't get this, we can't do number 2 until we get all the data in. So we'll have to wait on that, and I'll give you that data. Let's see, then I want you to write a short lab report describing the procedure used to obtain the number of cycles until failure, include an explanation of how to operate the testing machine, include annotated photos. So I want you to take some photos of the machine and show what you did with it. Okay, that's it for this lab. If you have any questions, ask us in lab. we'll see you, those of you who are in the Friday lab, I'll see you on Friday morning. Those of you in Tuesday labs, we'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, so over and out.